Filmmakers are some of the most creative people that you can find. And that creativity often extends to how they use their camera to help tell stories in ways that are often mesmerizing, intuitive, but sometimes pretty weird looking from an outside perspective. So in this video, we're gonna be reacting to a bunch of clever and sometimes weird camera rigs that certain filmmakers have used to help create their projects. So let's dive right in. Okay, so we've got this spinning ball contraption here. And this looks really cool. The rig is cool as hell. The only thing with this is that you're really limited to what you can make the shot do. Like, it's on a sled thing, so you can only push it. So it only replicates someone kicking a football flat on the ground into one of the corners to get past the goalkeeper. It's not as versatile as maybe it could be. I have seen another grip rigs type video where they had a basketball on a similar kind of rig to this, but the camera was on, I think it was a techno crane or some sort of gimbal jib system. And you could literally make the ball float from low to high, and it looks like someone is throwing it into the net. So I guess you could have a similar system for a football related thing. And also the rig doesn't look impossibly difficult to achieve. Like, the motors that are moving, yeah, there's some sort of battery system that is powering that, but I feel like if anyone's uncle is handy with screwdrivers and some wiring and stuff, maybe you could make a DIY version of this. Like, I'm just thinking in the eyes of like a low budget filmmaker who's trying to do this. I think it is possible to some degree. Might not look the same, and the ball might not spin as your uncle would do it, and then it would be like, and then like the ball would be so overpowered that it would just fly out of shot all the time. But I think this is achievable with a bit of soldering and someone who is a bit handy with metal work and a motor. But I would love to also repurpose this for something different, like music videos, which is my specialty, where, I don't know, you could put something else on this rig and, like, I don't know, what could you put on it? Like a goldfish ball? I don't know. Something where like this item is moving through different locations and it's spinning or it's doing something weird. I don't know. Like, this is just my weird music video brain trying to come up with ideas. Like, that would be great for a weird music video and it would be so interesting, but I'm hoping that I can use a rig like this in the future. Okay, so we've got this dolly system and then this top. Wow, that's really cool. No, cut back to it. I want to see it again. Whoa, wow. That's cool as hell. That's really, really cool. I've seen this lens in person, but I've never used it. I think I worked on a set when I used to do lighting, and we were using this, or we had it on standby, but I don't think we ever used it. And basically, it's a lens that is like a mirror system, so you can angle the tube of it. So you can basically do a full-on right angle like this. So you can get these shots that you would never be able to get with a normal camera system. And also the actual barrel of the lens is really small. Hence why you can seep through the cracks of these laptops and just glide over the top of the desk without knocking any of them over. I don't know what the rental cost of this is, but I think that, yeah, this is high budget and not something that is easily replicatable on a smaller budget. The thing I love about rigs and shots like this is it instantly makes your footage stand out. And I also feel like you could shoot this on an iPhone, and the fact that the shot does what it does and it looks so smooth and the perspective is so unfamiliar, it instantly makes it stand out. Like, I was having a chat with a friend yesterday, and I realized that the thing that really makes videos in general stand out now, whether that be TV commercials or even YouTube videos, it's that the audience are aware of what extra little time the creator has put into it to go above and beyond what they expect. Because everyone knows, like, vaguely how to film something now, because we all have these things in our pockets. As soon as you do something that the audience is like, how the hell did you do that? Or even that must have taken so much time and effort to put together versus what they think is possible, then it instantly stands out. And this is a perfect example of that. A shot where people are going to be scratching their heads thinking, how the hell did they do it? And luckily for us, we know now because we have the behind the scenes. But yeah, I think that's the real marker of a shot or a video in general that stands out. It's, what are you doing to make your audience question how the hell you did it? And this is another perfect example of giving that effect to an audience. Whoa, this rig is crazy. That's really cool. Sorry, I'm gonna be saying that all of these are really cool because they are. So this is some truss system. Truss is basically kind of like filmmaking / theater scaffolding, which you can connect together pretty easily. Actually, I used to help in a lighting company, and I would build trusses for them for certain projects. And you can build so many different shapes. Like, it's so versatile how you can use them. But I never used a system like this where you can literally rotate the truss itself. It's such a cool arcing move all the way from the top and then swinging around to see the bride throwing the bouquet. What's interesting though is that it's not motor powered. I think this rig is all gravity. If you can see in the corner here, you have two of the guys literally pushing the rig so it starts its move, and then they capture it just as it's about to hit the ground. So it's all momentum here, which is it's basically like a roller coaster. You just push it, let gravity do its work, and it'll do the swing, which is really, really crazy to think that you can just build a rig that does that. I would presume that you would need a motor system of something to control the speed of it, but it's pretty consistent throughout. And I guess the shot is in slow motion as well. And they ramp it, as you can see here, so it's not a consistent speed. I guess you could just control a little bit how quick it's gonna do the shot itself. So that's really, really smart. If you look closely, the guy on the right looks like he's gonna be late to capturing it. He's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. The guy on the left must be the gaffer, the 30-year experienced gaffer. Just how he does it is so smooth. Like, he's done it a million times. Just like, oh, look at those knees bend, take the impact, he crouches down. He saves his back, very, very good. You don't want to ruin your back on set. So many people don't know how to pick up light stands properly, and they just mess up their back. You've always got to crouch down and get those knees bent. He's gonna be around the film industry for many years to come. Okay, so you've got a tennis racket attached to the end of a camera with C-stand grip. There's no shot of what this looks like though. I would love to see it. Like, this is pretty easy to do, to rig to your camera. Like, this is low budget buys, even though the camera is not like a low budget camera or anything. We could all do this. We could all find a rig or a system, or even just tape it to your camera somehow and it would work. This is an example of coming up with a weird idea that might not work, and then you just think, well, we're doing a tennis ad or whatever this is. Why don't we just do a cool POV shot like GoPro style with the tennis racket, right? That'll look great. I also like it because you could easily do this with a GoPro, right? But all GoPro shots look like GoPro shots. So the fact that they chose to just use the high-end cinema camera for this shot will make it actually look cool and not feel instantly like a GoPro. Because at least for filmmakers, maybe for people who aren't as trained looking for image quality, filmmakers, every time we see a GoPro in a shot, we know it's a GoPro. Like, it's just immediate. So this is an example of using the same kind of philosophy and perspective of why GoPros and action cams are amazing, because of the kind of perspectives that they can give you, and then just apply that same philosophy with a high-end cinema camera to still make the whole visuals element cohesive regarding the idea and the way it looks stylistically. I want to do this myself, actually. I've started playing tennis recently, so maybe I'll bring my A7S III along to the court and some tape or something to see if I can replicate it for you guys. Whoa. This looks unreal. Yeah, the caption is right. Now that is a camera rig. That is that's clever as hell. That's super fucking clever. It's weirdly satisfying. Am I a weirdo for saying that? Just watching it just go through her luscious hair is like, I don't know. I might be a weirdo for thinking that. The two things I love the most in life: the beautiful hair of women and camera equipment combined into one. What clever ingenuity that this is, that you would think, how do we get a beautiful close shot of this amazing hair and like having like the brush comb through it, but making it look so dynamic and an angle and a perspective that is so unusual to capture this kind of thing. Again, this is another example of a shot that I know what it will, we can't see it here, what the end result is, but I have a good visualization of what that would look like. And it would instantly make the audience think, how the hell did they get that shot? That doesn't look like anything that I could do with my phone. And instantly that's what makes it stand out and makes you just sit up and pay a bit more attention, whether you even realize it or not as a viewer. So super, super clever. I love the simplicity of something like this, that regardless of what budget level you're on, you can do it. And I like the people who made this, that even though they were using the fanciest technology ever, they did something which is so simple foundationally simple to do because they just realized that, you know, let's just do it practically. Let's do something that's a bit different for this commercial or whatever project this is. I presume it's a beauty commercial of some kind. If the behind the scenes looks good, then the final shot probably looks even better. Adam Grasso 2021 quote. Oh, so this I have seen before. This is from Billie Eilish's music video, Bury a Friend. If you haven't seen this music video, incredible, as most of Billie Eilish's music videos are. But I remember when I watched it, there was one shot where I had no idea how the hell they did it. Like, was it CG? Was the background not real? Like, how did they do that? And I was rummaging through Instagram, as I do on occasion, every day. And I found this. And I was like, that's the rig! Oh my God, that's the rig! And it's incredible. And I can't believe they did it practically. I can't believe that it's not CG. It's so clever. It's just this rotating rig. Billie is harnessed in so she doesn't fall out as she goes upside down and smash her head on the floor. And yeah, the camera is just stuck on her face and the lighting's amazing, like this flickering effect. The corridor is cool. It's so good. It's so good. This looks complex though. Like, I would love to spend a day with grips who build these crazy rigs, because I just can imagine the directors like, we need to spin Billie around. So how do we do that, grip person? And then he's like, oh yeah, there's this thing where you can put the actor in and she doesn't fall, and you can do the 360. It's easy, and in their head they know exactly how you can do it. But I love that on films. I have that so many times where I did a music video for an artist called Saying Away, who I've done multiple videos for now. And that was a situation where we needed to glide a camera over a river and have basically more than half the videos of one take of her crawling through the water. And I luckily had been on enough sets to have a good idea of how it could be done. And it was interesting watching Saying Away's like perspective on it, because I was trying to explain to her how it's done to describe to her, but I could tell in her head she was like, I don't really know how you're gonna do this, as much as I tried to explain it to her. But in my head, I was so confident. But even then, I had to go to the hire company and do a bunch of tests to make sure it was gonna work the way I wanted it to. And it did eventually. Like, it looked great. I love that about filmmaking. It's just pure problem solving. And as long as you know that the answer to what you envision in your head is there, like the fact that you know it's possible. Like this, like you're like, I'm sure this is possible. I'm sure there's a way to do this thing. I just don't really know how to do it. And then you figure it out. It's so satisfying. So I imagine the same thing took place here, where as soon as they saw it on set, and especially when Billie saw it on the mono, she was probably like, whoa, that's so fucking cool. They probably tested it already, but yeah, just to see it all come together on set. I've been subconsciously influenced by videos like this, where even in my other video with Saying Away, like the middle 8, we had a super long floating shot for that to fill in that whole 20-second middle 8 gap. And just having a long one take shot for a middle 8 or for a certain section of the song, when the rest of it is just crazy cutting and editing, it just changes the pace, makes the audience more engaged, and just makes it feel way more pro. So the fact that someone even pulled their phone out to do this BTS shot, I thank you. Thank you for sharing it with the world so we can learn from music videos as great as this. This looks like a motion control arm of some kind. And whoa, this is some Kill Bill stuff. I want to be that actor and get a cool shot of me doing ninja moves with the perfect bolt camera arm moving. For those of you who don't know, I say Bolt because that's one company that makes these robotic arms. And essentially what it is you can program you can put a camera on this arm, which is basically this robotic arm. It looks similar to the robots that you see in car assembly factories, where they're like picking up the pieces and parts and assembling the car so perfectly together. I guess it is kind of the same technology, but filmmakers, as they always do, they realize, hey, why don't we just use this technology that already exists and just repurpose it for filmmaking? And that's exactly what they've done here. Like, a lot of music videos have it. One of the music videos where I noticed that it was kind of like the origin. It probably wasn't the origin, but it was the first one that I saw that was using it, was the Kendrick Lamar Humble video. And it's used in a few of the shots in that. And it's instantly made me go, whoa, that looks so cool and so unreal. It's not a human doing it, and that's what makes it so weird, because it's not nothing like a gimbal, nothing like a handheld move, nothing like a dolly. It's a complete move in itself. And even other music video directors like Casey Locke, who is from Manchester, so close to my home turf, he used an arm like this on one music video where the moves are so precise and so pre-programmed that you can basically blend multiple shots together and you can basically be in the shot multiple times, as he did with this artist in his video, and you can just have the camera move and replicate the same movement over and over again. And the connecting each shots together and stitching each shot together is perfect. Basically, it's you don't tell the difference because the camera move is repeatable to absolute pinpoint accuracy. Yeah, it's amazing that technology like this exists. It's not really a budget thing, I'm afraid. This one is very much a high budget thing. I'll put on the screen how much these arms are to rent per day with the technician who has to be there to program it and make it work. But it's a nice thing that we can all aspire to, right? I've never used one of these before, never been on set with one. But it's definitely something I would love to work with in the future. And hopefully I can bring my samurai sword on set so I can do some badass katana moves and they can film it and it'll look good on Tinder or something. I don't know. I don't use Tinder. I've got a girlfriend. Don't tell her. Okay, so we've got this slider system on the side of a car, and instantly this looks interesting and cool, but I'm like, is that really safe? Because the guy has to manually dolly it around the car itself. For car rigs, there's multiple kind of variations of what you can do with it. A lot of times the car is sat on a flatbed itself, and then on that flatbed you can walk around, and that flatbed is being driven by a car in front. So the car is never actually driving, and you can rig up lights, you can put whatever you want around that, and you could technically get a dolly shot and you could walk along the side and the car would still look like it's driving. So I don't really understand why they didn't do that with this shot. Maybe budgetarily, it just made sense to do it like this and push the dolly along the side of it. Because I don't think the car is driving itself, but it looks like the car is actually on the tarmac. So the wheels are moving, but it's just being pulled along. But maybe it's way extra budget to actually have it sat on a flatbed of some kind and having it not drive at all or have the wheels not moving at all. That dolly looks pro. It doesn't look like it's a DIY thing that some guy built. It looks like a rental company actually sell this for this purpose. But is that really how you're supposed to dolly it? You just need your grip to have two C-stand arms attached together and just like lean over. I don't even think he's safety harnessed. He might be. He has something on his waist, but I'm not sure if it's a safety harness to make sure he doesn't fall out. They're not driving very fast, but you could still die if you fall off. The shot probably still looks really cool, to be fair. Like, it is a very, very smooth tracking dolly shot that just arcs around. Maybe it was worth it. Or maybe it's safer than I actually think it is. Funny, because like when I started working on film sets after I left uni, that was really the first instances where I was aware of how important health and safety is. Film sets is so easy to just die and get hurt. Like if you look at my last reaction video, you'll see that these people almost died and some of them seriously got hurt. So they can be super, super dangerous places. So as much as I used to be like, I will die for the shot, nothing's more important than like working hard and doing a 15-hour day and getting the shot to look cinematic, it's worth it. I am a bit more balanced about that now, where I realize that no shot is worth dying for or hurting yourself over, or like completely ruining your whole career and life if something goes seriously wrong on set. So even when I see shots like this, I don't know, I feel, as much as I don't want to be a producer and I don't enjoy producing things, I'm much more of the cinematographer, director, and obviously like editing and color grading I enjoy as well. I still think a little bit producery sometimes in like health and safety, like I hope he's fine and safe. It's not worth it to hurt yourself on a film set for a cool looking shot. And on a more light-hearted note, we have this horse right here who has a gimbal on his back. What a perfect segue. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Whoa! How did this shot's incredible. I have to say that horse should get the Oscar for Best Cinematography at the Academy Awards. I mean, just the angle, he knows exactly where to run, he knows the composition. He is the next Roger Deakins. I think he trained Roger, to be honest with you. Look at that shot. That's so cool. I didn't even know they made a rig like this with gimbals that could go on a horse. Look at this shot. It's so cool. It's so cool. I've been learning a little bit about how gimbal dampeners work, because a lot of people think that you have a gimbal and then your shot is stable, right? And then it's done. But it's actually not, because if the thing underneath what the gimbal is sat on is bouncing and moving, there's still vibrations and there's still up and down movement. So you need to use dampener systems, which almost look like these. They're kind of like metal flexible wires that if there's up and down movement or bounce movement, it kind of dampens that vibration a little bit. And especially the horse is running full speed. There's a lot of vibration and up and down movement. They have dampeners on there to help the horse's kind of up and down movement be calmed a little bit. But yeah, it still looks pretty hard to control. I mean, the shot looks so cool, and I guess with a bit of post-stabilization and a bit of tweaking there, you could get some pretty amazing shots out of that. Could you not just get someone who knows how to ride a horse and have him with an easy rig system and then like a Movi and him to hold it? Or is that just way too dangerous? I've ridden horses, but I am terrible at riding horses, so I hold on for dear life and I wouldn't dare hold a camera. But surely someone who is like professional in a way could do this. Like there are people who ride segways backwards and have rollerblades who have easy rigs and like gimbal systems, and they're like going backwards on rollerblades. I guess with a horse it's more difficult, or not as easy as I thought. Of course, Ukraine, to all my Ukrainians out there, I love you guys, and you're always doing the crazy things that no one else would dare try, like putting a gimbal on a horse in this situation. They shoot loads of amazing stuff out in Ukraine. One of the best music videos that I've seen in a long time, as you can see here, shot on this abandoned half-built bridge, which I think is now a built bridge. I think they've managed to fix it, but yeah, I just love that. They're like, we needed a bridge that is half-built that we can film on and do this crazy music video, and the Ukrainians are like, okay. I love it. Okay, POV cam over here. That's a cool rig. I've always wanted to do a shoot with that's all POV with a rig like this. I do always wonder how heavy it is. I actually did a shoot a long time ago where I was I think I was a lighting trainee, and we had a rig similar to this, like the proper helmet rig with all these counterweights on, so all the weight wasn't like thrusting your head forward like that the whole time. And it looked really cool. I was watching the monitor and it looks like a POV. You put the right lens on there and it looks like our vision. It looks really cool. But this helmet looks a lot better actually. It just looks more stable, more clean. I guess the technology gets better year by year, and it can be lighter. It has a wireless kind of signal on the back there, so they can bounce the signal to the director. And it looks like a Blackmagic Pocket. Yeah, it's a Blackmagic Pocket. Of some kind, the 6K one maybe. And I'm not sure what that ball connector is at the front. Maybe it's just yeah, I think it's just to solidly hold it in place and just help support it so it doesn't move around, because it's going into the top, one of the top mounts on the camera, just so it's a lot more firmly in place. But yeah, surely after a while that would get pretty heavy on your neck. I guess you can take it off pretty easily, it's just a helmet. But yeah, so intuitive, right? It's just such a cool thing to see in terms of how do you actually do a POV shot. Okay, you literally make a helmet rig that can just sit on your head, and also the screen is right in front of the camera guy's face, so he's literally having the screen this close the whole time, and he's having to try and kind of move around and see what he's doing and see where his hands are and trying to line up the composition. Can you see that? Can I see that close? Yeah, it hurts my eyes a little bit, but I could see that close. So yeah, I just was like, how would you see a screen if it was like this close to your eye? There's some incredible POV music videos. There's one from The Weeknd called False Alarm, which is absolutely incredible. POV in general is incredible. And here's another example of like a GoPro-esque shot, but done professionally and done in a way that would look so cinematic and so engaging to see as a viewer. And again, all these rigs, I'm like, I want to do them. Maybe I should do a video in the future where I'm just like testing out all these weird rigs in real life and how you would make them practically. That'd be great. I'd love to go to a hire company and get them to build them all, and we could test them out together. I'll keep that in mind if you guys would find that interesting. I loved this shot so much because whoa, it looks so cool. It looks so hypnotic. Like the pattern of it is just like this infinite hall, and the symmetry to it is incredible. I love it because there was one music video that I almost shot, and I went to so many hotels, restaurants, libraries in Manchester to try and find a spiral staircase. And a spiral staircase where we could be like, we want to put a camera down the middle of it and like lower it all the way to the bottom and then raise it up. And the whole music video was going to be, our musician was going to be starting from the bottom and then walking all the way up the stairs. And then we would find a way to transition as if he'd like fallen down and then he was back at the bottom, and that would be the end of the video. And just logistically, I asked my friend Chris Sargentson, who owns Drop City, which is a lighting company in Manchester, just asking him like, how do you even do this? How would you make it possible? What's the cheapest way that we can do this? Do we need a motor? Can it be like pulled down manually? How do you control the gimbal wirelessly in the movement and have it go down like 10 stories and still we're able to control it and see what's on the video? Logistically, it seemed very difficult. We didn't end up making it, but it's always one that I want to make at some point in the future. And yeah, this is a Ronin R2, and they're just spinning it around as people are walking down the stairs. I'm not sure if it's manually dropping down. It looks like there's a motor of some kind to have it smoothly come down. Because the problem with these kind of rigs, and the problem that we had when we were trying to figure out how to do it, was that if you didn't use the right kind of cable, as you get lower and lower and lower, it's like a pendulum, right? There's loads of weight at the bottom, and then it's gonna swing. The longer the rope goes, the more it's likely to swing and get out of balance. So I think the only way to fix that problem is you need a very specific kind of wire that is super strong and will like stay in place. And you need 2 points of contact. Like this has 2 points of contact to connect to the camera, so it's less likely to swing a little bit. It's still baffling how it's done. I want to get on set with one of these and be like, that's how it's done. But I have a bit more of an idea now because I'm watching this, and I have a bit more of an idea of how it would be possible. But I don't know how to do this on a low budget vibe. I would love to know. I would love to know how expensive this is on the high end, which this clearly is. But then how do you do it on a low budget while not having the camera collapse from the rig and smashing to the ground? I'm not sure. A staircase shot going through the staircase is such a cool visual, and there's so many cool, amazing ideas and concepts you can build around this camera rig or a camera rig similar to it. I think that's about enough mind-blowing camera rig content for one YouTube video. I hope these videos helped open your eyes a little bit as to what is actually possible to achieve with some of these incredible filmmaking technologies that we have available to us right now, but also how you can translate these ideas into simpler rigs that don't really require you to spend a lot if you're only just starting out making your own film projects on a small budget. There's always going to be simple ways you can use your camera to help make your video projects that much more engaging for the viewer. And these methods are only limited by your own imagination and experimentation. If you'd like to see what can happen on a film set when things don't quite go to plan, then you can check out this other video on my channel right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.